Do your children endlessly bicker? Does that just make your blood boil? In this video, I'm going to tell you about the 4 behavior bombers that cause children to bicker, and then give you 7 steps that you can take to stop it and encourage your children to build their relationships. Hi, I'm Holly McLean, the Mommy Answer Lady. I'm a certified parent educator, parent of 9, and I'm all about helping parents stop struggling with children's bad behavior and showing them how to grow their relationship at the same time. If that interests you, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, please take just a second right now and like this page or subscribe to this channel and share. If you have children who bicker, I'm sure your heart beats just a little faster at the thought of the word bicker. It can be so frustrating. I want to define bickering first because it isn't the same as verbally fighting. Bickering is arguing over petty or trivial matters. This wouldn't be about fighting over a toy or getting upset because the other child has intruded on their world inappropriately in some way, like going into their room and invading their privacy or something like that. This would be the poking their brother or sister in the car for no reason, arguing over the color of a blanket, or whether saltines or Ritz crackers are better. This is bickering. The plan to make a change in your children's behavior isn't about punishing, it's about training and encouragement. That doesn't mean consequences can't be involved when necessary, but if your children are bickering, you need to understand why so you can address it most effectively. If you've studied Alfred Adler psychology, you may already know all people are seeking 2 things, significance and belonging. With these 2 things in mind, here are the 4 behavior bombers. Number 1, the attention junkie. An attention junkie feels as though they need attention generally from their siblings or from their parents to feel significant, so they start or participate in bickering. Number 2, the power hoarder. A power hoarder thinks that they are only significant if they are the most powerful person in a relationship, so they prove their power by starting an episode and controlling their siblings during it. Number 3, the sensitive soul. A sensitive soul is hurt and will want to lash out by starting or participating in a bickering episode. They may be seeking either belonging or significance. Number 4 is the Eeyore. An Eeyore feels that they are inadequate compared to their siblings or others and feel as though they have to participate because the others are calling them into the episode. They are more likely actually seeking belonging than necessarily significance, but it could be either or both. So here's how to address those underlying issues. Number 1, observe to figure out which of the 4 is their goal. It may be different for each of your children, so you'll have to take some time to figure it out. For instance, do you have an attention junkie or a power hoarder, a sensitive soul or an Eeyore? When you figure out the actual reasons behind the bickering for each of your children, it will help you address the situation more effectively. And you may have to adjust sometimes if their reasons change over time. Just a quick caution, don't think of this as a way to label your children, just to help you figure out their personal underlying motives. For instance, if you know you have an attention junkie, you will know that they just annoy their sibling to get a reaction. If you have a power hoarder, you may know they want to show their dominance so they will feel significant. If you have a sensitive soul, you know they are feeling hurt. If you have an Eeyore, you know that they think they are not as valued as their sibling. These feelings are triggering bickering. One child might start it off with their own issues and the others join in with their issues until the bickering episode is on. Number 2, have a discussion. Have a family meeting and discuss the problem of bickering with your children at a time when there's no conflict. They will certainly agree it is a problem if it is an ongoing thing. This is a time to teach and train your children about their own problems and help them think through the reasons for their behaviors. Keep in mind not to be accusing in your tone or attitude. Just be there to solve the problem without blaming anyone. Tell them about the 4 triggers, or behavior bombers, and have them think about which of these they are personally feeling inside and which they think causes them to want to bicker. For young children, it's a good idea to have a dry erase board and make some drawings for each of the 4 behavior bombers: attention junkie, power hoarders, sensitive souls, and Eeyores. You can even have your children help you think up creative ways to draw them. This will make the meeting fun and engaging. Number 3, have them involved in finding solutions. Ask them to think up ways to help stop the bickering. Write their suggestions on the board as you go through the different reasons and possible solutions. Then talk over each and ask each of them to contribute. Here are a few suggestions you can throw into the mix about what to do when bickering starts. You could say that they will have to place their hand over their mouth until they think of 3 nice things to say about their siblings that they were bickering with. Or if you're in the car, you're going to pull the car over to the side of the road and wait for them to agree they're finished. These 2 suggestions I just made, they're really great for in the car, by the way. Another one is they could go to their own rooms and come up with things that they can do to build their relationship and then come together when they're ready to discuss it. One really great suggestion that I want to give you is if they start to bicker, they will lose a privilege for each episode. For instance, a computer privilege could be reduced by 5 minutes each time you have to mention bickering is happening. Now, a variation could be that they can gain back that computer time privilege by reconciling and apologizing if it is done quickly. Okay, number 4, have them agree on the plans. Once you've talked over the plans to stop the bickering, have them acknowledge that they are on board with the plans. They will be excited that they have been involved in working out the plans and will likely be excited about implementing them. Just a note, it will likely work well for a while, but you may have to have another meeting when the excitement wears off and restart it with different plans depending on the effectiveness. Number 5, be consistent. Once the plans are made and everyone is on board, you are the one to implement the plans and be consistent. For instance, if they start to bicker and you say, "I'm sorry that you have chosen to lose 5 minutes of your computer time for today," stick to it. Don't give in to any complaining. In fact, you can implement complaining will be considered an extension of the bickering and will cause another 5 minutes to be lost. But if you do this, make sure it is part of the plan so they understand that ahead of time. Number 6, don't piggyback. Piggybacking means to pile on more negative consequences or punishments in addition to the agreed upon plans. For instance, don't do other things in addition to the plan by scolding, shaming, or blaming them, and making them feel worse when bickering has happened by saying, "I told you," or "if you only," or "if you won't be kind, that's the way it goes," etc. Instead, be patient as a matter of fact and sympathetic that they made a choice to bicker, and let them know you feel sad about it. The consequences in the plans are just what has to happen now that they have made that choice. Number 7, encourage them to build the relationship. Children often do better when they can visualize a lesson. One way to help them visualize they're building a relationship with each other is to use Legos or a game board. You will need to set this up in a place where it won't be disturbed. You can get a Lego set, and once or twice a day, they will get to take a block or 2 each and add it to the Lego project when they have been treating each other with kindness. When they bicker or treat each other poorly, they have to go and take a block off the project. When they apologize and do well, they can put the block back on the project. Or use a game board like Candyland for really young ones. Let them move their pieces one place forward as they treat each other well, and when they bicker, they must go and move their piece backward. Again, if they apologize and make up, they can move it forward again. When the entire project or game board is complete over a period of a week or 2, they win a prize that relates to their relationship. For instance, they get to go out for ice cream together or to another fun activity together. If you have multiple children, all their pieces must each reach the end for this to happen. This will create a real visual that they can see to help them think about building up a relationship with their siblings. This video is specifically about bickering, but you may be thinking, what about tattling? That is another word that makes the hearts of parents race, isn't it? There is another video on this channel with step-by-step solutions to that problem too. Check it out. And please take a moment right now, if you haven't, to subscribe, like, and share this video with those you believe may benefit. Parents, you can do this. Thanks for watching.